Hey, have you ever wanted to go to a flower shop and purchase a bunch of loose flowers and make your own bouquet? I know before I was a designer, I had that passion too. I would go and I would look at flowers and wonder what goes together and what doesn't go together. Well, today I am here to help you make a bouquet out of split complementary colors. And if you don't know what that is and you really want to understand colors, this little color wheel right here is the best tool to have in your toolbox. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm Heather here with Kuhn Flowers, and we are getting ready to teach you how to make a beautiful bouquet through our new program called Stems in Style. So let's begin. We are using a complementary color of yellow, which is our strongest which is the strongest color in here. And the complementary colors to this yellow will be your red violet, which is this color, and it's going to be your blue violet, which is this blue color right here. So we're going to use those today to make a bouquet. Now, unfortunately, I do not know what I'm going to make. So I am just going to do what I normally do when I get an order online or a customer calls in. I'm just going to design something, just pretend I'm at my desk, right? And I want you to do the same thing. As you follow along or as you want to listen to this video later, please do not hesitate to ask questions and we'll be gladly to get back with you. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them down there and we'll answer them appropriately. So today we're going to use, I have some eucalyptus, spiral eucalyptus, which is wonderful, but it is a little sticky. I have leather leaf, which gets a bad rap, but we're going to make it beautiful today. He's inexpensive and perfect to use for the perfect accent. And we're going to use our seeded eucalyptus. The great part about using greens is we want to use greens more as accents, not necessarily to cover all our foam, because our flowers are going to do that as well. I will go ahead and I'm going to turn my vase around, and I have this beautiful hydrangea, which is the blue hydrangea, and I'm going to use him. I don't know how I'm going to design this yet, but I'm just going to start sticking these flowers in here. When I started this, I got this container from downstairs, and I went ahead and I packed it with foam, and that foam is super tight in there, so that's not coming off. And then I submerged it in water and let the oasis soak up water at its own time. If we try to push this down, it's going to put an air block in this, an air bubble, and it will not be able to hold water, and your little flowers will die. We don't want that, do we? No, not especially when you're spending good money on them. So I'm going to take him right here. I'm going to push him in there. And when we would insert our flowers, we want to go at least an inch and a half. That makes sure that there's a good position for them and they're able to absorb water. So I have that. Now I'm going to use my purple iris. Oh, an iris is a beautiful spring flower. I'm going to use this kind of tall. And we're going to go ahead and make them tall since these are beautiful. What is really nice about an iris is it comes closed like this, but then it starts to open up. But let me tell you, these petals are fragile. They're so fragile. So you can't really put them with a bunch of stuff and mess with them too much, because they will break and they will fall apart. But they're just beautiful. And with spring coming, I mean, daffodils are beautiful. The only thing I don't like about daffodils, which are one of my favorite flowers, is the fact that the daffodils put off a gas and poisoning and can kill the other flowers pretty easily and fast, so they might not last as long. So keeping them as one bouquet is probably better. So I have that in there. Now I'm going to add my little sunflowers. When we add yellows and whites and blues together, yellow is always going to be stronger than your white. So it's going to want to be a main focal point of your arrangement. And since today we're talking about split complementary, the yellow is what we base this whole arrangement around, using the violet blues and the violet reds, which are beautifully done. I know you can't see from that side. So far, this is what we have. Went ahead and put my sunflower deeper down in there so it draws attention and it creates depth. And then I stair-stepped it on up. And now I'm going to do something to the back of this arrangement. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some white. These lilies are oriental lilies, and they are fragrant. So there's two kinds of lilies that a flower shop will normally use. One is the Asiatic lily that doesn't smell whatsoever, but it also creases and bends, and it's very delicate. So you can't lay it down, or it will crease and it won't be such a good thing. Or these oriental lilies right here are really, really nice because these have a little bit more play to them. And it makes it a little bit more easier. They don't bruise as bad. So they can handle more touching. I don't know if you've noticed, like anytime you touch flowers, the more that you touch them, the more they seem to make a mess of things. The more they get bruised, and then you don't end up liking them. You think, I paid a lot for this little stem here. I want to make sure I'm getting the big value out of my buck. So we want to make sure that as we go through here, we're making perfect opportunity to use all those blooms because you've paid for each one of them. See how I put the white next to the yellow? But the yellow is more striking, so your eye is going to be drawn to the yellow before it is the white. The white behind the yellow will give the lily depth, but it will also make it kind of look 3D-ish. It's so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're going to use these purple pomps. And you notice I am doing my arrangement without adding my greens first because I want to use my greens. I'm using my line right here, this line that goes straight up, as my form. I know where I'm going to place these, so I don't necessarily have to do that. You can add greens in first to give you your boundaries and where your line is at and movement. But for me, I find it much easier if I put my flowers in first because then I'm using less of this to design with. And I'm sure my employer likes the fact that I use less greens. So adding these little buttons in here are really nice. We have a beautiful line of purple array of flowers on our website, and you could go there. I mean, they come in beautiful colors like purples and violet reds and violet blues, and it's a beautiful line, but I can't remember the name of the line. So I wish I could remember that, but I can't. Not right at this moment. I wasn't expecting to say that. So as I go designing this, I'm just making patterns throughout to pull my color all the way through. And this size arrangement is perfect for your countertop. It could be perfect for a desk at an office for your friend's birthday. If they like blue. I really enjoy putting my flowers down inside my arrangement because it draws attention. Like I want you to want to look inside it because it's a piece of art. It's so fun, and I just have a great time making them. Even this little guy here, I could use him down in here right underneath my sunflower, and it gives you that dimension that you like. So I'm put them in there like that. And as you can see, it comes from this side. Obviously, it comes from this side up, going out, and it goes in. So it allows your eye to go throughout the whole arrangement. I'm going to use this light. Look at these. Aren't these beautiful? I was so excited to get these. And we have them here. You can purchase them by the stem, by groups of 10, 20, 30. You could purchase them all if you would like. And like I said, being an artist, I definitely don't know what I'm doing sometimes until I start to do it. I don't have an idea. If I have a project that's really a little bit more complicated, I'll sketch it out, so it gives me opportunity, especially when I have a lot of things going on. Sketching things for me works the best. Helps me not to waste time. But this little arrangement here is just perfect. Going through here, making sure I have created some depth where my sunflowers are. Giving this yellow against this violet blue is so shocking and beautiful. Helps you to have value for each flower has value, especially when it's tucked by the complementary color. So it contrasts, it adds value, it's beautiful. Let me do one more of this. One more of these little blue spider mums. And if you know me, I love to add curly willow, grass, all of that. But guess what? I didn't bring any grass up here. But I did bring some eucalyptus, which is beautiful. And as you can see, I have some limonium right here, which is wonderful. When it blooms, it's beautiful. And sometimes this has a problem with stinking, like it stinks really bad. What I would do is I'll take Febreze and I'll spray it, and it will last. It lasts and it smells good. So I'm going to add a little bit of this and a little bit of this wax flower, but I'm going to put my greens in first. And normally I would put all this stuff that I have on the desk on the floor, so I'm not wasting any room because I'm missing some things right here. So let me just move this out of the way so you could fully see that. There, now I have a little bit cleaner spot. Now I'm going to take my eucalyptus. Now this could get your hands sticky, so beware, but it smells so wonderful. And I did bring up some picks, which they're green picks, which I could curl some of these. So we'll have to see how this turns out. See, it's screaming, use me, use me. I heard it. I heard it. See, I made this side a little bit stronger by adding this here. I've made this side stronger. And he might be too big. Oh, just right. And I'm just going through and adding these pieces as little accents, because these iris are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, but wouldn't he look cute like that? I think so. I think so. So we're going to put this over here. Take this little part off so it sticks in there. And use this one. Oh, yes. It says, yes, that's just what it needed. So I'm going to take my little pick. I'm going to go around like this. And the great thing about using picks like this is the water will absorb into this pick and it will swell so it won't come out of the foam. If I were to use a steel pick, it would just plop right out. So we added that. Oh, I didn't get that one in there very well. Let me add this over here. I'm almost done. Can you believe it? And to think, I didn't know what I was going to make this afternoon. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take a piece of this leather leaf, which is pretty. I never used to think leather leaf was pretty until I started using it as an accent and not as a base for my arrangements. So I'm going to use it more so as an accent. You know, like a woman with a nice pair of earrings, she's all dolled up and she needs that one pair of earrings that looks beautiful and it just adds that perfect touch. That is what I'm using this leather leaf as. And you could do this with any green you want. Doesn't necessarily have to be leather leaf. But when we use greens, we want to make sure that each part represents what it is. By us looking at each individual part, we value each one of these things. And that's where you get your big bang for your money, because you value each one of those things. You want to see what you pay for. And I'm going to do that right over here as well. And as you see, it's starting to come together. I'm going to add a little bit of the seeded eucalyptus. And the same thing with this, I'm adding touches here and there. I don't want to add a whole bunch of this because it could get quite costly. But it also just adds that drape that it needs in this pot. And you could use anything to design in. You could use a teacup, you could use a teapot, you could use an old coffee. I have an extremely old coffee can that I find is really neat. You could use something like that. Well, if it has a liner, you can make a liner out of a plastic bag or cellophane. But as I add that through there, see how we added some interest to this side? It kind of flows out and then it carries over on this side. So it kind of brings it all together. Now I'm going to take pieces of this violet red color and I'm going to add it as accent. And this is just going to help this pop. It's going to be, oh, look at all that. Oh, I know I'm crazy. I know. But that's okay. Crazy's good. And I'm just going around placing it in little spots. And wax flower smells extremely good when you break it apart. It smells so good. Okay. I'm liking that a lot. I like the color combination. I really like the pot myself. I thought the pot was really good. And we do have them here, so if you want to come down and purchase one, you're more than welcome to. We have quite a few of them to choose from. And one more insertion, I think. Right here. I'm going to add a little stem of limonium. Probably only going to use one stem of this because, like I say, we don't want to overdo it by adding things that don't necessarily have to be in here. But this will just give us another bloom to value, another bloom to appreciate. And as long as you have it throughout, it kind of tells a story, which is a beautiful thing. One of the things that I like most about being a floral designer is you're able to create beautiful things out of anything. A good designer can design with any flower. We don't need specialty flowers such as peonies and ranunculus and sweet pea, although those are beautiful flowers. A good designer can design with anything. And I want to encourage you, challenge you to design with hard things, to learn to design with hard things. You could design beautiful things with things you never thought you were capable of doing. And that is pretty fun. This is our lovely arrangement. Look at the complementary colors with the yellows and violet reds and violet blues. It's so beautiful. I want to encourage you to do difficult things, to make difficult things. That's what life's about. You can learn and grow. And speak of learning and growing, we have a class coming up. Yay! That is the 18th of March, and we want to see you there. So if you want to bring your mom, your sister, your brother, your nephew, your niece, your best friend, do so, and you will learn how to make a beautiful design and go home with something lovely. So you could do that here at Kuhn Flowers. And again, I'm Heather, and I'm here to teach you much, much more.